Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how I contour my face. I'm using a matte bronzer. Now I know a lot of people like to use a cream contour and they like to use the cream sticks, usually by like Anastasia or something like that. But I have to use powder because I'm very oily, and every time that I have tried to use a cream contour, it just does not come out right. So I always stick to using a matte powder bronzer when I contour. So this is the final look that I've come up with, and I hope this helps you guys out. Give it a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, and all that, and let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Okay, so I'm starting off, and I've already done my foundation, concealer, powder, and my brows. And now I'm just taking my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. This is a mattifying bronzer, so it's going to be really good for sculpting and contouring the face. When contouring, you want to use something that it doesn't have a lot of shimmer or sparkle or glitter in it, because it's just going to look muddy on top of the foundation, and nobody wants that. So you want to go in with a mattifying bronzer that's going to be really good to sculpt in the cheekbones. I'm taking it on this flat e.l.f. brush. It's kind of just like a flat line. It kind of resembles the NARS Ita brush, if you guys have used that before. So I'm just taking a little bit on my brush here, tapping off any excess, and you're gonna find the crevice where your cheekbone area tends to like pop out, which mine is like right here. You can feel around where your cheekbone is, and you want to do it right under your cheekbone here. And I'm gonna lay my brush on its flat edge here and sort of just brush a line in this area. I keep my hand heavier out here on the outside, and then as I drag it in towards the corner of my mouth, I lighten my pressure with the brush. I'm really getting right into the hollow of my cheek. Okay, so now I've got a really sharp line going here, and I'm just gonna flatten the brush out the other way, this way, instead of this way, and I'm just gonna buff it and start to blend out that line so it's not harsh. I am self-tanned right now, so my foundation shade is a little bit light, especially with the Tarte Shape Tape concealer that I use is a very light color, so it tends to lighten up my whole face. So using this bronzer is also going to help warm up my complexion and make it match the rest of my body. I have a very light hand doing this. I'm using very feathery, light circular motions, as opposed to when we drew the line and we used just little sharp motions to get down that line. Now I'm just feathering it out. Really focusing up here so that it fades as you get closer to your mouth and center of the face. Now this looks like a lot on camera. I can tell on my viewfinder that it looks like it's a lot of product, but I promise you guys it doesn't look like that in person. So I'm gonna take some more product and just do the other side of my face. Once again, I'm using a very light hand for this blending part, and I'm really blending this color into my hairline as well and towards my ear. Okay, so we're gonna leave that for now. Picking up some more product, tapping off any excess, and I'm gonna go around my temple, right up here, and really blend it into the hairline with circular motions. Now, I always tend to use the powder bronzer for this because I'm very oily. I know a lot of people like to cream contour after they put on their foundation, like they do it with their concealer and the cream contour at the same time, and they blend it out with like a beauty blender or a brush or something. But since I am so oily, I always avoid cream contour, and this is the best for me, for my skin, because I am so oily, this Too Faced powder, because it is very mattifying, but it still has nice pigment and it blends very well. Just keeping it, pushing it into that hairline, connecting it down here, and blending onto the forehead here. Just go back and forth between the two areas. And then I just lightly dust it across the center. So that it's nice and blended. Now, you can tell that since I am self-tanned, I'm still pretty white in the face from my concealer and powder and all that. So I'm picking up a little bit more product. And I'm gonna go back into my cheek contour and lightly dust this area again and really blend it all over the rest of the face as well. Taking it all the way up, and then I'm gonna be taking it down as well, just to warm up my skin tone. And then focusing back in that cheekbone again. And I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more product and go back into my temples and just add a little bit more in there for a little bit more definition. This is basically my everyday contour. You can go sharper with it, you can blend it out more for a more soft look, whatever you guys prefer, but this is just how I do it for me basically every day. If I'm going to like a really special event, I would probably do it a little bit sharper. And now, since I am a little bit white in the face, I'm gonna take a little bit more product and I'm gonna blend it on the jawline. Just blend this whole area. And we're gonna take it down the neck as well. So it blends into my self-tanned color. And I'm taking a little bit on the tip of my brush here and going under the bottom lip, right underneath it, right in the crevice where your lip sort of curls out, right in there. And blending it out and blending it out. This is going to create a shadow right under your bottom lip, so it's going to make your bottom lip look a little more pursed and pouty. Again, using a very light hand. I'm just going to take a little bit more product and blend a little bit over my cheekbones again, just to define this line a little bit more. I haven't added any extra product, by the way, I'm just blending. It's always good to go slow with your contour and build it much like the dark shadows, because you can always mess up very easily with contour and put on too much too fast, and it'll be hard to blend out. So it's always a better idea to build the product. It's going to take a little bit more time, but you're going to get a better result. Alright, now I'm going to go in and contour my nose. I'm going to zoom you guys in for this. So I'm not one to like a very harsh contour on my nose. I just think it looks very fake. But I do it a little bit, so I'm going to pick up this brush from the Naked 3 palette. I was using the Naked Smoky palette brush. It's just like this. And I'm taking this end that's kind of flat, like this. And I'm going to take the side of it here, like this side, and I'm going to dip the tip of it into the Too Faced product a tiny bit. Tap off any excess, and I'm actually going to fluff it across the top compact of it a little bit. And now I'm just taking the product and a very, very light hand, and I'm going to go down the sides of my nose, but more so towards the center of my nose. You don't want to do it out here because it's going to create a large look to your nose. You want a more narrow look, so you want to put the shadow more towards the center of the nose. I'm just doing short, feathery motions. I know it doesn't look like much, but like I said, we're gonna build it. Okay, and just doing the other side now. Now I'm going back to that e.l.f. brush and I'm gonna blend out these lines. Using a light hand and the long side of the brush here, the tip, and blending. Now I'm going back to my Too Faced powder using the same e.l.f. brush, taking a little bit on the very tip of the brush, and I'm gonna go under the bottom of my nose. This is also gonna help it appear smaller. Just brushing it across the very bottom here. Okay, and I'm taking my e.l.f. brush and with no added extra product, just gonna blend over these lines one more time. Okay, and now I'm going in with a more of a brightening bronzer. This is the bronzer that has the sparkle and the glowiness to it. I'm taking my Carly Bible palette and I'm taking this bottom right shade right here. This is in the row of highlighters that come in her palette, but I mean, obviously it's too dark to use as a highlighter for my skin tone. It would look really, really beautiful on darker skin tones, but I'm going to use it as a bronzer. So I just take a tiny, tiny bit on a fluffy, angled Morphe brush, and I'm just going to do little light strokes with it across the bronzer that we already laid down. Again, using a very feathery, light hand. I think that's the key to really getting a beautifully blended look if you're doing eyeshadow or bronzer, blush, whatever it is. Always use a light, feathery hand and you will get a nice blend. Now I'm just going in circular motions across the cheek. And now I'm just laying it flat like this and brushing it up a little bit. Up and up and up. So we don't lose that definition. Focusing most of the product on the outside of the face so that you don't get any muddiness on the inside of the face. This will also help the face appear slimmer, putting the shadows on the outside. Always blend into the hairline. Just taking a tiny bit, and I'm going to blend in circular motions over the temple contour and blending into the hairline. I'm just going to take a tiny bit more of the product on this fluffy brush, and I'm going to fluff it across my jawline and blend it down the neck. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, this is the final look. I went ahead and added all the rest of my makeup, eye makeup, and blush and highlight, lipstick and all that. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I'll see you soon. Please subscribe.